Hello everyone, it's me Uncle John. Today I am going to read the S5 5069, Junie first grader, The Boss of Lunch, Chapter 1. Not normal. Thursday, the first grade journal. Hooray, hooray, it came. It finally came. Yesterday, the delivery man brought it right to my house. And today I carried it to school for the very first time. Right now, it is sitting under my desk. I keep sneaking down there to see it closer, but my teacher just said to please stop doing that. And guess what? He's not even watching me right now, so I think I'll sneak down there one more time. That'll be it, possibly. I wish myself good luck. I put down my pencil and looked all around. Room 1 was still writing in their journals. I smiled very sneaky. Then I bent over in my chair real slow. I reached way down. I lifted up the lid of my brand new shiny lunchbox, hollered out, May. Junie Jones just opened the lunchbox again, Mr. Scary, and you told her not to do that anymore, remember? May is a tattletale girl who sits next to me. I don't actually care for her. My heart pounded very hard. I bent over even more and I hit my head so my teacher couldn't see me. Only I didn't do a good job of hiding, I guess, because just then I heard Mr. Scary the Shoes walking toward me. Junie, why is your lunchbox open again? Didn't I just speak to you about this a few minutes ago? I kept my head down and I looked at the floor. One of Mr. Scary's shoes started tapping at me. Tappy shoes and happy shoes, I think. Junie, said Mr. Scary again, do you have a good reason for opening your lunchbox again? I quick closed my eyes and tried to think of a good reason. Mr. Scary's shoe tapped louder. I opened my eyes and peeked at it. And then, bingo! All of a sudden, a miracle happened. One of my eyes saw my napkin in the corner of my lunchbox. And a bright idea popped right into my head. I quick grabbed the napkin and I started shining Mr. Scary's shoes. Look, Mr. Scary, look, here's my good reason. See me, huh? I'm shining your shoes with my napkin, see? I shined and shined. This is the smartest reason I ever came up with. I said, very proud. I smiled up at him. Would you like some spit on the napkin? I asked, real nice. A little spit makes shoes look extra gleamy. Mr. Scary quick pulled his shoe away. No, Junie, no spit, please. Just sit up, he said. I sat up. Mr. Scary stared and stared at me. I wiggled in my seat, very uncomfortable. 'Cause staring teachers make me squirmy, of course. Mr. Scary talked again. I want you to stay out of your lunchbox, Junie. We have a rule in room 1. Lunchboxes are to be opened only in the cafeteria. I did a sad sigh. Yeah, I said, I know the rule, Mr. Scary, but I waited a real long time to get this lunchbox. And yesterday, it finally came to my house. And so today is my first day of not carrying a plain brown sack to school. And so every time I look at the new lunchbox, I feel happy inside. I picked it up to show him. See how cute it is? My mother ordered it from a nature store. It has pictures of baby birds on it. See all of them? I pointed. This one is my favorite. It is called an owlet. Owlet is the name of a baby owl. My grandpa, Frank Miller, told me that. I pointed at a different bird. That one is an eaglet. I said an eaglet is a baby eagle. After that, I held my lunchbox way high in the air so all of room 1 could see. See all the birdlets, children, there are owlets, eaglets, and ducklets, and chicklets. I explained. I put my lunchbox on my desk, and I took out the thermos. And see this thermos, people? This thermos has pictures of bird nests on it. Isn't that cute? May made a face. Ew, she said. Who wants to drink out of stinky, pooey bird's nest? I made a face at her. I do that too, May. I love drinking out of stinky, pooey bird's nest. May reached into her desk and pulled out a lunch ticket. Well, I buy my lunch, Junie Jones, she said, but lunches are much better than brought lunches. But lunches don't sit around all morning and get soggy. I crossed my arms at that girl. That's the dumbest thing I ever heard of, May. The broad lunches are way better than butt lunches, 'cause broad lunches are made special by our very own mothers. Mr. Skitty did a frown. Okay, okay. Girl, that's enough, he said, but May kept on arguing with me. For your information, Junie Jones' mothers are not professional lunch makers, she said. Mothers are just plain old normal people. I stamped my foot at her, 'cause that was my final straw. Do not call my mother normal, May. I hollered. No one in my whole entire family is normal, so there. May started to laugh, and some of the other children laughed too. I do not know why. Mr. Skitty snapped his fingers at them. I put my lunchbox back on the floor. It was not my best morning. Chapter 2, Hoagies. The lunch bell rang at 12 o'clock. 12 o'clock is around noonish, I believe. I picked up my lunchbox and went to the door. Then I lined up with my friends and I ready to go. It's almost time, I told them, very thrilled. It's almost time for me to eat out of my brand new lunchbox. I held it up for them to see again. Which baby bird do you guys like the best? I asked. Pick one, okay? My friend named Jose looked at the bird and shrugged his shoulders. I don't know. I guess maybe I like the duck best. Ducks can be funny sometimes. One time when we were having a picnic at the lake, a duck chased my sister and stole her ho ho. My friends Lenny and Herb laughed real hard. They looked at my lunchbox too. I think I like the owlet the best, said Herb. Me too, said Lenny. I saw a TV show on owls once, and an owl swallowed a giant rat. It just one bite. It didn't even chew or anything. After that, I stared at Lenny a real long time, 'cause that disgusting story just ruined my owlet. That's why. Finally, all of room one walked to the cafeteria together. The cafeteria is a big room where we eat lunch. It has smells and noise and tables in it. Room one sits near the window. I zoomed there speedy quick. Come, Herb, I called. Come, Lenny and Jose. It's time for you to watch me eat out of my new lunchbox. I turned around to wait for them. Only too bad for me, because none of those guys were even coming. Instead, they were standing in the stupid dumb lunch line. My mouth fell open at that sight. Herb, hey Herb, I called. What do you think you're doing? Why aren't you coming to eat with me? Herb shouted back. I'm buying my lunch today, Junie. Jose shouted too. Me too. Everyone is buying today, Junie. Hoagies? We're having hoagies? Hollered Lenny. Save us a seat. My shoulders are slumped, real disappointed, because I wasn't actually expecting this development. I sat down at my table and looked all around. There was only one other person sitting there. His name is Sheldon. I do not know him that good. Sheldon waved his fingers at me. We are the only ones here. We are the only ones who didn't buy hoagies today. I did a sigh. Yeah, Sheldon, I know that. Hoagies are very popular, but I'm not allowed to eat them, he said. I'm allergic to fake meat and cheese. I looked at Sheldon closer. His nose was running very much. Please wipe your nose, I said. Sheldon didn't pay attention to me. I'm only allowed to eat food that comes from nature, he said. Also, I am allergic to dairy, he told me. I handed him my napkin. Blow, and I mean it, I said. Sheldon did not blow. I slid to the end of the table. My friends started coming out of the kitchen. The other children started coming too. They sat down and took big bites of their hoagies. Mums, this hoagie is delicious. See, said Jose. Muy delicioso. Lenny nodded. Then he opened up his hoagie roll and looked inside. I think even you'd like this hoagie, Junie. Look, it has ham and salami, and cheese and lettuce and tomato. Just then, May butted her big head in. It's good for you too, Junie Jones. All school lunches have to be delicious and nutritious. It's a law. So I said, so lunch is brought from home. Can be any old thing, she said back. I did a halfy breath at her, then I turned my back, and I hid my some sandwichy very secret, and I peeked inside the bread. I stared and stared for a real long time, 'cause I didn't actually recognize the meat, that's why. Finally, I ate it anyway. It was tasty, whatever it was. Chapter 3, Cookies. I was the first one done with my lunch. That's because eating hoagies takes forever, of course. I put my lunchbox away and looked at Herb's plate. He had three more foods to go. First, he had carrot sticks. Also, he had applesauce and a cookie. I leaned in closer. I think that's a sugar cookie, Herbert. I said, sugar cookies are my favorite. Herb nodded. Me too, he said. I like sugar cookies too. I touched his cookie with my finger. Yes, sir, it bobbed. That's the sugar cookie. All right, Herb. I didn't get a cookie at all today. My mother packed me a fruit bar instead. Oh, said Herb. Well, fruit bars are good too. I tapped my fingers on the table. 'Cause Herb didn't even get my hint. Herbert, I know fruit bars are good, but I really wanted a cookie today. So I wish that you'd just share that thing with me, and that's all. Herb looked at me and shrugged. Why didn't you just say so? Then he broke his cookie in two, and he handed me half. I gushed, real happy. Oh, thank you, Herb. Thank you, thank you. I stuffed the cookie right into my mouth, and I drank a sip of Herb's milk. Yum, they taste just like the cookies that Mrs. Guzman used to bring to afternoon kindergarten, I said. I smiled at the thought of that woman. Gladys Guzman was a snack lady last year. I explained to her she used to bring us cookies and milk every week. I made my voice kind of secret. Only guess what, Herbert? Sometimes Mrs. Guzman gave me two cookies instead of one. Because I was her favorite person in room 9, I think. Jose heard what I said. Hey, that must mean that I was a favorite in room 8, he said. Because sometimes Mrs. Guzman gave me an extra one too. After that, me and Jose did a high five. Because both of us were favorites, apparently. That woman was a gem, I tell you. What do you mean she was a gem, Junie? Jose, she still is a gem. Mrs. Guzman still works here, you know? What? I said, very surprised. Sure she does. I miss Mrs. Gutchman this year already. She works right there in the kitchen. I couldn't believe my ears. Really? 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 Because if Miss Gutchman still works at a school, how come she hasn't brought us milk and cookies this year? I don't know, but she still works here, all right? In fact, you saw her just now when we were getting our hoagies. I put my hand over my mouth because the news was too good to be true. Jose laughed. If you don't believe us, go see for yourself. I will, Jose. I'll go see for myself. Then I jumped right out of my seat and I zoomed into the kitchen and I hollered and hollered for Mrs. Gutchman. Chapter 4, Gladys. Mrs. Gutchman, Mrs. Gladys Gutchman, where are you? I hollered, it's me, it's Junie B. Jones. I looked all around me. There was a long counter with the children pushing trays. Did anyone see Mrs. Gutchman? I asked the children. Does anyone know her? My friend says she's right in this kitchen, but I don't even see her. I hollered her name even louder. Mrs. Gutchman, Mrs. Gladys Gutchman. Then all of a sudden a lady came hurrying around the corner, and good news, it was her. It was Mrs. Gladys Gutchman. I ran and hugged her very tight. Mrs. Gutchman, Mrs. Gutchman, I'm so glad to see you. Hug me back. Junie B. Jones, I'm glad to see you too. Smiled up at her. She was wearing her same big white apron from last year. Whoa, just look at you, Mrs. Gutchman. You didn't change a bit. I patted her apron. You didn't even change your clothes, apparently, I said. Mrs. Gutchman laughed. She was wearing plastic mitts on her hands. Plus also, she was wearing a hairnet. Hey, I remember those things from last year. You told me that you were plastic mitts and a hairnet. Whenever you touch food, remember? You said that was called good hygiene. Because bits and her hair that protect her food from dirty germs and hair. Mrs. Gutchman made a face. Are you sure that's the way I put it? I skipped all around her in a circle. Hey, Mrs. Gutchman, now there you found me. You can start bringing cookies to my room again. I held up one finger. I'm in room 1. This year I said room 1 comes earlier in the alphabet than room 9. And so now that you know where I am, when can you bring the cookies, Gladys? 뒤로잡고 she leaned down next to me and she patted my arm. She said, don't call her Gladys. After that, she explained all about snacks. She said that first graders don't get snacks like kindergarten kids do. No kind of first graders get cookies with the school lunches? I did a frown at the dish. Yeah, only. What about the children who bring the lunches, Mrs. Scotchman? Where is our cookies, huh? Today everybody got a cookie except for me and Sheldon. Mrs. Scotchman didn't answer my question. Instead, she raised her head and looked behind me. That's when I heard my teacher's voice. Junie, exactly. What do you think you're doing? I spun around. His eyes looked annoyed at me. Why did you get up from the table? What's the story here? Everyone just staring. I did a big cough. Then I squeezed my eyes closed real tight. And I tried to think of the story here. Well, first I was eating my broad lunch, and then everyone else was eating their broad lunch. So that's how come I was the first one finished. And then I was just sitting here, and then I spotted Herb's sugar cookie. I really wanted the thing, and good news Herb shared. And so then that delicious cookie reminded me about Mrs. Scotchman. And what do you know? Herb and Jose said she was right here in this exact kitchen. So I jumped up from the table and I ran in to say hello. After that, I looked up at Mrs. Scotchman, kind of nervous, and I waved my finger. Hello. Hello. Shook his head. No, I'm sorry, Junie. I know Mrs. Scotchman has enjoyed seeing you, but you can't just get up from the table and run wherever you please during lunch. Mr. Scary is right, Junie. I'm very happy to see you, but you do have to learn to follow school rules. I did. I said, yeah, only I really, really wanted to find you, Mrs. Scotchman, because I missed you very much. She tapped on her chin. Maybe I have an idea. Maybe if you promise to follow the rules, you can come back tomorrow and help me in the kitchen. Would you like that, do you think? I got big and wide at her. Are you kidding, Miss Grossman? Is it some kind of a joke? She smiled again. No, it's no joke. We let children help us in the kitchen quite often. If it's okay with your teacher, I'll give you a permission slip to take home to your parents. Say it's okay, please, please, please. He didn't answer right away. He ran his finger through his hair and he thought and thought. Finally, he said it. He said it's okay. I clapped and danced and twirled. I can do it, Mrs. Gotchman. I can come and help you in the kitchen. Excellent. She reached behind the counter and she handed me a permission slip. And that's not all. She reached back there one more time and she pulled out a pair of brand new plastic beads. Hey, these are for you. You can wear them around your house tonight and get used to them. Thank you, Mrs. Gutman. Thank you. I said I've always wanted some of these thingamajigs. After that, I put them on my hands, very thrilled, and I waved goodbye to Mrs. Gutman. See ya. Said see you tomorrow. Then I walked back to my lunch table with Mr. Scary and I followed the rules for the rest of the day. The end.